Hi, my name is Lauren Dyer and I'm here with Mikey Robinson from Three, and we are here to talk about the Digital Human Takeover, a project that we did back at the beginning of the year with Three, and we're really proud to talk about it today and go in a bit more detail about the project. And I'm really excited to have Mikey here today to talk about from a client perspective, not just a technical perspective. So, Mikey, I'll head over to you. It'd be great to hear a little bit more about the project and how it ended up with us.
Sure. We are Three, a mobile technology company, and we approached Dimensions mid 2019, roughly, with the desire to help us with the launch of our 5G network in 2020. We had an existing partnership with Central St. Martin's, the design and fashion college in North London, which in itself is renowned for innovation in terms of creativity. People like John Galliano, Alexander McQueen have come through the doors of there. So we had innovation baked in, I think, at the start. And the idea that we had was to use 5G, to use technology in some way to allow a supermodel to walk the catwalk in augmented reality while she sat front row and saw herself in one of the garments from the collection. So that's kind of roughly where we started. We knew we wanted to launch 5G. We wanted to take it out of category for us and move it on from just being a techie discussion and really show our audience the possibilities of 5G and that kind of connected tech and how it can create new mixed reality, immersive experiences that they could be enjoying in the future.
Amazing. I remember us hearing about this project and the team being so excited because it felt like a truly wonderful moment to bring an immersive show to life using existing technology like projections and spatial audio and haptic feedback, and something to really awaken all the senses. And the creative director Connie Harrison, who was coming up with all the kind of the surrounds to this beautiful show, to be able to put volumetric and web AR at the center of the campaign was a really exciting moment for us as a studio. Dimension Studios is a new breed of kind of production studio, and we've been pioneering volumetric capture for quite some time, and the ability to put a digital human into an environment is something that a lot of people always wanted, that kind of Princess Leia moment of having the projection there real and interacting with it, and we'll go into a bit more detail I suppose later on after we show the project off, but those lovely impossible possible moments, lovely to bring those to life. And I think these kind of projects are, for us, is kind of industry redefining, and we were really proud to work with you guys on a project of that kind of level, and also to not just demonstrate how volumetric capture of capturing beautiful humans, but also the ability to capture fabric and how that falls. And I think this whole new idea of the next step of digital transformation in a post-COVID world, it was very different to how we are now. And I think COVID has accelerated the need for these kind of digital transformation projects, and being able to put the human aspect of it back into the center of a project is really important. And yeah, we were really happy to have that with you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned COVID-19 and coronavirus. This happened in February. This event took place as part of London Fashion Week. And I guess we weren't really thinking about, a world in lockdown when we came up with this concept, but it's fascinating. I was back at Central St. Martin's last week and they were talking about this project and how really it's kind of a blueprint for them, potentially for the future, in ways that they would show collections when people can't be in a physical space together. And I think what volumetric gave us was, like you say, that fidelity of the garment, the skin, the person, the features. It was Adwoa Aboah, an amazing British model. It was recognizably her. You had the textures of her shaved head, her skin, the knitted garment cascading, the movement of the fabric. And that was really, really important for us. We're a commercial partner of Central St. Martin's. This is their graduate MA show as part of London Fashion Week. And yes, we were using it to launch our 5G network, but we also needed to do justice to the collection that was on show. And I think volumetric really gave us that.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think from the other side of it, in terms of the distribution, and obviously we'll get a chance to see that in a bit more detail in a moment, but WebAR is kind of a frictionless, low barrier to entry, distribution element to this project. I remember us going through the project and realizing that this needed to feel, with the power of 5G, that feeling of that frictionless experience, and also the ability to take it beyond the catwalk and people being able to play around with it at home. And I think WebAR as a platform enabled that project to live on outside of the event that only a select few on an invite only basis were allowed to go to.
Yeah, and we were really keen to democratize the experience and give it to everyone. We're Fashion Week itself, it's hard to get a ticket, but we're not really a velvet rope kind of brand. And so WebAR really gave us the ability to reach more people than we ever would just physically attending the event.
No, absolutely. Well, we'll leave you guys to have a look at the case study, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, my name's Adwoa Aboah, and I'm being made into a 3D model.
We're here at Dimension Studios in this lovely green room, which is a 3D volumetric capture studio. The fancy way of saying that we create a digital model of a physical person.
We are shooting Adwoa Aboah, who is kind of a modern fashion icon, for the launch of our 5G network at London Fashion Week. She is going to walk the catwalk in augmented reality.
Essentially what we're doing is showing that through technology like 5G, it's possible for a model to walk on 100 catwalks at the same time, on the same night.
In this room, there are hundreds of cameras creating a 360-degree digital image of Adwoa.
We're working with Central St. Martin's, the renowned fashion and design college in King's Cross. And for their MA show, which is on the opening night of London Fashion Week, we're working with them to create this incredible multi-sensory fashion show.
We're here tonight with Three, who is going to bring this fashion show to life with 5G.
We're putting 3D surround sound in the entire venue. There'll be an enormous 8K projection on the wall. We're also putting haptic feedback into the seat, so you actually kind of feel and be able to interact with the show in a totally new way. And then the final moment of the show will be a 5G moment delivered through special handsets, whereby you'll actually be able to see a digital model walking down the catwalk for the first time.
First time I've been to Central St. Martin's show, and it was just incredible, so much talent.
Such an insane event, it's absolutely amazing. The talent was incredible and the immersive experience was second to none. What an incredible time.
Welcome back, and hopefully you had a chance to enjoy that case study video. We were really lucky to create that in tandem and combination with Three. So thank you so much again, Mikey, for being with us on that BTS, and for us to understand a little bit more about the strategy and the bigger picture on a project of that scale. I think doing stuff in tandem or together on a project of this kind of magnitude, it was really great to have you guys on set and go through it, because I think it's very easy to understand the project in a bit more detail, and hopefully you all enjoyed that at home. I think it'd be really useful to talk about the key ROIs and takeaways on a project like this, because it is so unique, but yet it is so readily repeatable for lots of other projects. And I think one thing that does come out of that is brand awareness. I think is a major thing for XR, and how you can create those moments and that they are specific to the brand. I think it's quite an important one for you guys on this one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think brand awareness was key. I think equally important was product awareness. But for us, launching our 5G network, doing something that had never been done before in Fashion Week, really taking out of that sort of techie world and taking ourselves out of category as well. We had press from this event in places like Complex and Hypebeast, places you'd more associate with the latest Kendrick Lamar music video or the Nike shoe drop. Was incredible for us to be really reaching an audience that we wouldn't necessarily reach. In general, we're usually consigned to Wired and the tech blogs, but this really brought us into a whole new category.
Amazing.
I think on top of that, product awareness, I think when we looked at the consumer understanding of 5G, when we did our social listening, there was sort of three conversations or three bases that people fell into. The first one was probably people like yourselves in the tech industry, in innovation, who understand 5G and the possibilities. There was another small group of people, miscommunication about 5G. And then, the largest bucket by far was our general consumer, who I guess thought 5G was just another G, 3G, 4G, 5G. This is just faster internet. And what this project allowed us to do was to really make this tangible for people, to show how 5G would unlock whole new experiences for people with Internet of Things, with connected devices, with volumetric streamed AR onto a device. So it really captured those two needs that we wanted, that product awareness and that brand awareness.
Yeah, I think they're really key, because I think sometimes, like you said, it gets lost within the tech and perhaps the strategy. Not that it falls apart, but the creative really takes center stage, and it's all about a balance. And I think projects like this, the reason why they are, and they are so successful and they are so shareable and so liked, is because they strike that wonderful balance between innovation and creative and overarching brand strategy. Because I think once you start marrying those things together, all of a sudden the conversation is very different, and the audience response is quite unique, and being able to build upon those audiences. I think for a long time, if we look back on, I suppose, the past couple of years with 3G and 4G launches, it's always like what's coming next, and what's new and what's exciting, and what can we do to make this more magical. I think magic's a really interesting word. And I think on our last point here, these possible impossible scenarios, Dimension's very used to getting world first kind of briefs, and what can we do that's new in this space, and creating possible executions on this level, on this scale, is so important to us, because it does break boundaries, but it also most importantly adds value to the consumer and therefore the brand, because they're getting these wonderful moments that perhaps they would have never have experienced anywhere else before. And the ability to not necessarily be at the event, but still be able to have that magic moment at home, with a supermodel in your living room. These possible impossible scenarios are becoming more and more familiar in our setting on these kind of projects, on the basis that we're quite excited to educate and delight people in this world, that creating something in volumetric isn't just about the detail and about the fidelity, but it's about the ability to bring heart and the human element of it back into it as well. So there's a lot to digest and think about on a project like this, but I think they're probably the main takeaways. I suppose we should probably let you guys go back to your day. Thank you so much for taking the time. Mikey, it was amazing being able to speak about this project with you again. It was a joy working with you. And thank you again from Dimension for letting us be a part of this awesome project.
Thanks for bringing it to life.
No, absolutely. Have a great day.